So the core competencies we're looking for are curiosity, persistence, imagination, discipline, and collaboration. Through trial and error with many teachers in many countries, we began to form a picture in our minds of the kind of environment which best develops those competencies. And what we know from that is a learning environment in which pupils are physically, socially, emotionally, and intellectually involved. Effective learning needs curiosity, resilience, imagination, discipline, and collaboration. And if you use those skills, the learning will be better.
So we create space in our workshops throughout every day, not just at the end of the day, to really think quite deeply about what's happened. And to do that, you have to ask the participants questions which go beyond the surface. And often in learning contexts, I see facilitators, teachers asking questions which are only about one thing. They're about looking for facts. When we're asking questions as teachers, if all we're wanting is the facts, that's not thinking. We can just say a fact. We want our students to be thinking, to be understanding, so that how we ask questions is really, really important. And so I think for me, at the heart of learning is always about asking yourself questions, ensuring learners are asked questions of themselves and of each other, and actually you build classroom conversations which really support children and young people to switch on their brains, to think, not just to remember.
คุณครูคะหนูอยากถามว่าโต๊ะอาหารเนี่ยจะทำอะไรได้มากกว่าพังอาหารหรือไม่อย่างไรคะ
สำหรับชั่วโมงนี้นักเรียนได้ฝึกตั้งคำถามนักเรียนได้ฝึกการคาดคะเนคำตอบว่าคำตอบน่าจะเป็นยังไงอาจจะถูกหรือไม่ถูกไม่รู้แหละเพราะฉะนั้นลำดับต่อไปนักเรียนไปหาข้อมูลมา
Most of the time in most classrooms, teachers are simply supplying the answers to questions to the pupils. In active learning classrooms or high-functioning classrooms, the teacher is asking the pupils the questions, setting the challenge, and the pupils have to find the answers. And that process of working out how to find the answer and then going to find the answer engages their brains, and that's when learning really happens. And so what we're trying to do in introducing the concept of the challenge is to reduce the amount of scaffolding, we call it, that teachers provide to say, no, only give them help if they really need it. And mostly they don't need it, they can do it themselves.
My job is to give you the knowledge. Their job is to support their own students that understand, to think, to explore, and to come up with their own ideas and opinions. So I think the biggest thing for me is that teachers have to break out of feeling that teaching is about them standing at the front and teaching. It should be much more learning, much more participation by the students, and a lot less teaching. So teachers are there to scaffold children, but actually children have to feel that they have agency over their own learning environment, and that actually that most of what happens in the classroom is about them and not about the teacher.
เดี๋ยวคุณครูจะให้นักเรียนช่วยดึงเรือค่ะตั้งแต่วัดเขมาค่ะไปจนถึงไอคอนสยามให้คุณครูหน่อยบ่อบำบัดน้ำเสีย
บำบัดน้ำเสียนะคะ
เดี๋ยวก่อนนะเวลาเขาบำบัดน้ำอะค่ะมันจะมีอะไรออกมาด้วยมันมีทั้งน้ำดีถูกไหมคะแล้วมันมีน้ำที่มันเป็นยังไงเสียถึงแม้ว่าจะมีเพียงเล็กน้อยแต่มันก็ออกมาสู่ลำน้ำเรา
The future, I think there needs to be more networking across the different strands of the program. I think teachers, to be successful in the classroom, need all the ideas from the different strands of the program. Active learning has many different aspects and techniques, and I think they need to share those techniques between them more effectively. I think the teachers and the schools need to become more independent of their sponsors. So They don't do things because their sponsors have told them to do it or paid them to do it. They do it because they've come to believe it's the right thing to do and they want to do it independently of the sponsors of the program. And that is right, because actually that mirrors the practice that one should be using in the classroom. The aim of teaching should be to make the pupils independent of you, not dependent on you. Because if they remain dependent on you and they go out into the world, they're going to be useless because they're waiting for someone to tell them the answer to everything. And the world doesn't do that. The world wants people who can come in, work out their own answers and apply them very effectively. And active learning teaches children that. Therefore, the less conscious of teachers and the less dependent on teachers the pupils become, the better they will be. And it's exactly the same for the teachers in the TSQP program, is that the more independent of the actual sponsors and so forth they become, that will be the success of the program.